ask you now to give me one or two things that you came up with from step 5. I know this lot when like I cultivated it, so maybe over there, maybe you've got some things. Just which bit are you particularly proud of in your technology? And what would you like to tell us about what you found out?
Well, I like the electronic booking system. So this is which was linked to a texter. So the electronic booking system on our PC.
Yeah.
And it would actually text the client.
Yes.
I thought that was lovely.
You thought that was lovely. That might save some start time.
Yeah.
Might be efficient. That's a real life example. That really happened. There was a project in the North East that brought this in as a way of reminding people. I know you lot here were talking about some of the pros and cons of mobile phones and tracking back, and would you like to put that into the mix?
Well, one of the advantages, as you so truly, having an automated system is that it can send out the record, the invitation. It can send it out as often as you choose. It will also, if it's a text message, for example, it will record the fact that it's been delivered, so you can chase that up. And one of the things about the sort of clientele you're talking about is sending a letter doesn't work because you don't know it's been received. If you send them a text, you get confirmation. If you phone them or visit them, you've got confirmation. And I think the hierarchy really was text is quick, cheap and automated. If not, there should be something in the system that says this hasn't been received, you'll need to make a phone call, and then the worst comes to the worst, you go out looking for them. All of those things that you can automate.
And that's again step by step development, isn't it?
Yeah. You start off with a quick, it's easy and cheap one to do, and then work to the ones that actually take effort.
Yeah, and you may want to make it richer so that the councillor actually reminds them. And Julian, you had an idea about appropriate technology that you've actually used in the past?
Yeah, I did work on a project looking at appointments and supporting them in their own homes, and we just gave them diaries and encouraged them to keep the whole life style and they put their appointments in the diary, and then they began to use them, and then they kept their appointments. So about 50%.
But that was in the days before mobile phones, or when they were so big that the client might not afford it, couldn't afford it. So, I mean, having these conversations makes you realise, yes, that might work. You need to back it up with some real life, face-to-face stuff, and there might be an alternative technology which is just paper-based, which could reinforce it or work as well. Any insights from the back table here, in addition to that, or did you fill in a different bit?
We said that the system for keeping updating and accessing should be a database that's easy to use, which is also linked to the calendar for reminding for prompts, and possibly linked to even the texting and the sending out the letter or whatever you're going to do. Should also be confidential.
Yeah. So you've brought up some requirements for the database there, and it's one of those rubbish in, rubbish out questions. If you haven't got good client data and the correct mobile phone number, it won't go to the right mobile phone anyway. So you have to keep that up to date, and also it's got to be confidential, so you have to be very careful about who has access to it, so you're talking password protected. So it's the same thing with the lock filing cabinets, similar issues there.
I was saying it's the system would need to be network.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
I think the important thing we thought was that there needed to be one system, not a multitude of systems. And if you can narrow it down to one system, then that would be better. For instance, the person putting in the booking, if the database could be interrogated by the guy who's going to do the booking, he could confirm whether he could make it or not with that appointment. He could update the appointment if he couldn't make it. If you go back to the person who put it in the first place, there would be a record there maintained. So to just have one system would be far better than lots of little systems.
And equally, when you finally come to make a report on an individual, part of that report won't just be what the meeting reports, the visit reports, but also how many reports were made, who were, when were they kept, and when they're not. So the integration of all systems.
Yeah, so that should then becomes a rich source of knowledge to inform your funding bit or your
It's a beginning to end process. It has a start and a finish. It records all of the information that's generated.
So how much does this cost? Where do I get
Yes. And I thought all you lot told me at the beginning of the day you weren't techie. Well, I'm not techie, but in using these frameworks, we've actually got to some interesting ideas that we can take to somebody, and some interesting questions, you know, and some hard questions. What does it cost? Where can I get it? Who can build it for me? Who will fund it? And we've actually arrived here, don't forget, from our goals which meet our mission. So in terms of who is going to fund this, if a funder says, well, that, you know, what do you want to know for? We say we've done an analytical process these past 2 months. We started from our mission and our goals and our clients' needs, and this is what we've come up with. Stick that in your pipe and come out with £30,000.
Yeah, when you say that, I mean, in that respect, we're the client, we're deciding this is what we want, this is what we want it to do. You're the techie, go and do it. I'm not interested in how you do it, but this is what we want.
I think it's a really important point. Essentially, you're in control, not the technology or the technician.
Not them telling you, well, you can use it for.
Yes, that's very true actually, because technicians always want to try out something that they just found, don't they? And they think, you really need one of these because I'd love to know how it works, and you're paying for it. Yeah. So when you get to this grid, don't forget to write down the numbers, write down the requirements, that bit. That's an absolutely vital bit. So you're in control, you're telling them exactly what you want. And I'll give you out the illustration where it's been completed, which you'll find in your books. Or if you're further than found this in your books half an hour ago. And you'll see what drops out at the bottom of that is a decision on some technology tools to take forward. It's in the book anyway, there you go. Yes, I want to take forward this idea, no, I don't want to take forward the other idea. And it won't surprise you to know that when you've decided what you're going to take forward, and at this stage we'll be calling them Project 123 or Project ABC or Project XYZ or whatever, you will then analyse that idea further and ask yourself more questions in step 6. You'll ask yourself, what are the risks, what are the benefits, what are the full costs of ownership? Have I thought about how I'm going to maintain it? Have I thought about staff training? I've thought about all that, and then when you decide a bit further, in step 7, you'll be saying, well, who's going to fund it, how much is it going to cost? Then in step 8, you'll be saying, well, what is the technical specification? I'll come that bit further. In step 9, you'll be saying, right, which funder can I go to, and where is my technical support on this specific thing? Okay, so you can see how each step would fit into the next one. Okay, and that's all in here. Simply set step 6 to 10. So I know that you're all going to go away now and have this on your bedside table and read it. It isn't hard to read, and at least steps 1 to 5 now will be familiar to you. So I think that's all really. Just got some what next. Oh, there we go. That's filled in some things that you found out you know already now. Sources of support we did over lunchtime. Don't forget to go on to the NetGain members area, and by next Friday you'll have Toolkit, the reference guide, and some other useful things in it. That's to remind you where the login is. Didn't look at that.